they announced 2 years ago that they're going to do a live action version of Moana, even though it's only 9 years since the original one has been released. And it's interesting to see the reaction so far because, Jay, within 24 hours, about 24 hours, this thing has been absolutely annihilated.
First trailer for the live-action Moana remake. I am being so serious when I say this. This trailer was hot, steaming donkey straight nuclear booty cheeks. It reeks of freaky turkey. I hated it all.
They've been torn apart. Now, this is definitely swap content for sure. Plop-a-doodle-doo. But it's well worth taking a look at because, my God, when are they ever going to learn? Like, Moana, pretty new, pretty recent movie. But they're like, I know what everyone wants. A live-action remake that is barely live-action.
No one expected Moana, one of Disney's most beloved modern classics, to become the studio's next internet disaster. But that's exactly what happened.
Look at the ratio as we speak right now. 47,000 dislikes.
Wow.
To 30,000 likes. It's getting...
Wow.
Within hours of the live-action teaser dropping, the internet exploded. The trailer, meant to celebrate Polynesian culture and Disney's legacy, turned into a PR nightmare, racking up dislikes faster than views, and comment sections that looked like open forums of disappointment.
Like, bro, firstly, Moana doesn't even have a trilogy yet. So why the hell has Disney pushed for a live-action Moana so early in its existence? Like, I understand Disney making live-action remakes for classic Disney princess movies, but this Moana remake just confirms that they have a cycle. There's no, let's see if we want to do this. It's always, we want a live-action remake after we make the animated version. That's just it.
Fans weren't just unimpressed, they were furious. This looks AI-generated. Why are they remaking perfection? Even Maui looks off. These were just a few of the thousands of comments pouring in under the teaser. And the wild part? They weren't wrong. The visuals looked strangely stiff, almost uncanny, as if someone fed an AI model the 2016 movie and told it to copy the vibe. Disney had promised something authentic and cinematic. What fans saw was something soulless and synthetic, a glossy imitation of a film that didn't need fixing in the first place. But the backlash didn't stop at Disney. It quickly turned toward the one man everyone associated with Moana, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He wasn't just the voice of Maui, he was the face of this entire live-action push. He'd announced the remake himself, hyping it as a personal passion project that honored his Polynesian roots. But when fans turned on the project, they turned on him too. And let's just say, The Rock didn't take it well. He went from calm to furious faster than anyone expected, slamming critics, calling out fake outrage by, and even snapping at fans who questioned the project's purpose. It was raw, defensive, and unfiltered. But what really made this meltdown so shocking wasn't just what he said, it's why he said it. Because behind the polished Instagram posts and corporate smiles, there's a lot more tension than Disney wants anyone to see. And what set him off might surprise you. Let's be honest, Disney's live-action phase has been rough. What started as a nostalgia goldmine has slowly turned into a creative graveyard. The Lion King looked like a National Geographic special with no emotion. The Little Mermaid faced backlash over casting and lifeless visuals. And Snow White delayed, reshot, and memed to oblivion before it even released. Audiences aren't buying it anymore, literally and emotionally. These remakes feel less like love letters and more like cash grabs. And the moment Disney announced Moana was next in line, fans already rolled their eyes. Think about it. Moana came out in 2016. It's not some decades-old classic begging for a modern reimagining. It's recent. The animation still looks beautiful today. The songs are still viral. Kids still watch it on Disney+. So, why remake it? That's the question millions ask, and Disney didn't have a good answer. Instead, they leaned on nostalgia and The Rock's charm to sell it. Dwayne Johnson proudly stepped up, talking about celebrating heritage and honoring the islands. It sounded noble, even emotional. But behind the PR spin, fans saw what Disney was really doing, playing it safe. There's this growing belief that Disney is out of ideas, milking its past instead of creating anything new. And when the Moana live-action teaser dropped, that belief turned into frustration. The visuals were the first red flag. Instead of real island beauty, fans saw digital sand, overexposed lighting, and textures that looked straight out of a video game. It was weirdly artificial, like someone had recreated Hawaii using 3D rendering software. And then came the comparisons. Side-by-side screenshots flooded Twitter. Animated Moana versus live-action Moana. And the consensus was savage. The 2016 version looked alive. The 2025 teaser looked corporate. Fans started joking that Disney must have used ChatGPT for visuals or AI for oceans. But under the jokes was genuine disappointment. Moana was a story about nature, heart, and culture. And this teaser felt like a soulless machine trying to imitate it. Disney's strategy had officially backfired. They thought The Rock's involvement would shield the movie from criticism. Instead, it made him a lightning rod for every angry fan on the internet. And as those dislikes climbed, and as the memes got louder, Dwayne Johnson finally broke his silence. But what he said next only made things worse. When the Moana live-action teaser dropped on Disney's official YouTube channel, it looked like just another nostalgic revival. A few seconds of ocean waves, a shot of the island, and then The Rock's unmistakable voice as Maui. The hype was there for about 5 minutes. Then reality hit. The comment section instantly turned into chaos. Thousands of fans piled in, not with excitement, but with confusion and anger. This looks AI generated. Who asked for this? The original was perfect. Why ruin it? The trailer racked up hundreds of thousands of dislikes in hours, even faster than Disney's Snow White teaser did earlier this year. It wasn't just about visuals anymore, it was about trust. Fans felt Disney was ignoring what people actually wanted, and the tone of the trailer didn't help. It had that overly dramatic narration, the fake emotional music, the same recycled shots that Disney's used in every remake since Beauty and the Beast. By the end of the day, the video was trending, not for its success, but for its ratio. Entire YouTube channels started reacting to the backlash, calling it Disney's next flop in the making. Even casual moviegoers said it looked soulless and AI polished. Then came the memes. Oh, the memes. Maui's CGI muscles compared to video game characters. Moana's face getting called deepfake level weird. Some even joke that Dwayne Johnson didn't need CGI. They just scanned his Fortnite skin and used that instead. But behind all the jokes, there was a clear message. Disney has officially lost its touch. Fans accused the studio of rushing production just to meet a corporate release schedule. Some insiders even hinted that the teaser wasn't finished, that the VFX was placeholder footage meant to test reaction. But that explanation only made things worse. If Disney really dropped an unfinished teaser, it showed how disconnected they'd become from their audience, caring more about timelines and shareholders than artistic quality. And when fans realized that Dwayne Johnson himself was producing the remake through his company, the criticism turned personal. Dwayne, you're better than this. You said you loved the culture, not the cash. Why would you remake your own masterpiece? The tone shifted from disappointment to betrayal. For the first time, people weren't just questioning Disney. They were questioning The Rock himself. And after hours of silence, he finally responded. But when he did, it wasn't what fans expected. Because The Rock didn't just defend the movie, he went off. At first, Dwayne Johnson stayed quiet. He liked a few fan posts, dropped a casual mahalo fam under Disney's teaser, the usual PR warmth. But behind the scenes, people close to the production said he was livid, not just at the internet's reaction, but at how quickly the public turned on him. And then he snapped. Within 24 hours, Johnson went live on Instagram, smiling at first, but you could see the frustration behind it. He started calm, thanking fans for their honest feedback. But as the comments poured in, calling the teaser fake, lifeless, and unnecessary, his tone shifted. He said, I get it. The internet loves to hate, but what I don't get is people something that's not even finished yet. Then came the real heat. People throwing around words like AI generated. Come on, that's just lazy. We're putting in real work, real culture, real heart. Some of you forget this story means something to us, to my family, my heritage, my people. It wasn't the polished, PR-friendly Dwayne fans we're used to. This was personal. His voice cracked at points. He looked angry, not at trolls, but at the idea that something tied to his identity was being roasted as soulless. The chat went wild. Some defended him, saying he had a right to stand up for his culture. Others accused him of gaslighting the audience, refusing to admit the teaser looked bad. Memes and clips of the live stream spread across X and TikTok. The Rock versus the internet. Within hours, hashtags like #MauiMeltdown and #TheRockComplains started trending. And even though Johnson tried to frame it as passion, fans saw something else. Ego. He'd always been seen as the people's champ, the approachable celebrity who never took himself too seriously. But this moment cracked that image. He looked offensive, corporate, and out of touch. And while he probably meant to defend his culture, all fans heard was him defending Disney. That's when the tone of the entire conversation shifted. The internet had sympathy for him at first, but after that live stream, they turned on him completely. And the worst part? He didn't stop there. Because what The Rock said next would send the backlash into full-blown chaos. After that live stream, you could feel the shift. Overnight, Dwayne Johnson, the guy who was once the internet's favorite, became its newest target. His mentions were flooded. His Instagram posts, or even unrelated ones, got spammed with clown emojis and Maui fell off comments. YouTubers who once hyped him up started uploading videos titled "The Rock Just Can't Take Criticism" and Dwayne Johnson's Disney Problem. What made it worse was how calculated fans thought his defense sounded. Some pointed out that he used almost the exact same phrasing Disney's PR statements did. Words like authentic, representation, and honoring tradition. To many, it felt like he was reading straight from the corporate script. But what hurt fans most wasn't the words. It was the attitude. The man who built his entire brand on being for the people was now calling those same people negative and ungrateful. And let's be real, that never sits well online. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. We supported The Rock when he went from wrestling to Hollywood. We watched him become a megastar. But now, he's acting like we're the problem for not liking a remake nobody asked for. That post alone racked up over 100,000 likes. Then came the deeper criticism. Some fans brought up his recent box office struggles, how Black Adam flopped, how Fast X barely made a a dent, how every big project he's attached to lately feels like it's trying too hard. They said he's become the brand, not the man. And suddenly, what started as a simple movie backlash turned into a career reality check. People weren't just questioning Disney's creative decisions, they were questioning Dwayne Johnson's authenticity. Was he really passionate about this film, or just chasing another paycheck under the disguise of heritage? You could feel the disappointment. This wasn't hate, it was heartbreak from fans who felt they'd lost someone who used to get it. But the irony? Disney was still doubling down, still posting, still hyping, still pretending nothing was wrong. And that only made Dwayne's image worse, because now it looked like he was fighting for a company that didn't even care about him getting roasted. It was the perfect storm. Corporate arrogance, fan fatigue, and celebrity pride all colliding. And when Disney tried to step in to clean up the mess, things somehow got even messier. When the backlash hit its peak, Disney's social media team went into panic mode. Comments were exploding faster than they could moderate them, and the dislike count on YouTube was climbing like wildfire. Within 48 hours, the company started doing what Disney always does when a PR storm hits. They tried to bury it. The first sign? Replies on Disney's official Moana teaser post suddenly vanished. Entire threads gone. Fans who had written paragraphs about their disappointment found their comments deleted. On YouTube, the like-to-dislike ratio mysteriously disappeared, hidden behind the usual feature-disabled excuse. But the internet notices everything. Screenshots started flooding Reddit, side-by-side comparisons of the like counts, time-stamped comments that vanished, entire sections of critique just wiped, and that only made people angrier. Instead of calming the situation, Disney's silence came across as corporate arrogance. It looked like they weren't listening, like they didn't care what fans thought. Then came the official statement. Short, bland, and utterly tone-deaf. We're proud of the incredible work our team is doing to bring Moana's story to life in a new, authentic way. That word again, authentic. It was the same one The Rock used in his live stream. Fans immediately connected the dots. Disney was in full damage control mode, and Dwayne was part of the cleanup crew. But it wasn't working. The narrative was slipping away. Creators across YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter started dragging Disney for the same playbook they'd used during the Little Mermaid and Snow White controversies. The same copy-paste approach of celebrating diversity instead of addressing quality. One post went viral. Disney isn't celebrating culture, they're monetizing it, and the audience has finally caught on. Within hours, that sentiment became the story. Moana wasn't just another remake anymore, it was a symbol of how disconnected Disney had become from its fans. And in the middle of this storm stood Dwayne Johnson, the face of the film, the producer, the lightning rod. While Disney tried to delete, downplay, and distract, Dwayne decided to go in the complete opposite direction. He doubled down, and what he said next made Disney's quiet crisis turn into a full-blown meltdown. After days of silence from Disney, Dwayne Johnson broke the calm with one of his most talked-about posts in years. A black and white photo, his Maui necklace, a caption that read, "You can't silence culture, you can't fake passion, and you can't destroy what we built with heart." At first glance, it sounded inspiring, like a proud statement about heritage, but fans didn't take it that way. They saw it as defensive, another attempt to reframe criticism as cultural hate instead of what it really was, disappointment in the movie itself. Underneath that post, the comments section turned into a battlefield. Bro, nobody's attacking your culture. We just don't want another CGI remake. Stop hiding behind the word representation. This movie looks like an AI experiment. You're better than this, Rock. Admit it, this was a bad call. And instead of diffusing the fire, Johnson fed it. He replied to a few comments, calmly at first, then sharper. If you don't like it, don't watch it. That line was gasoline. It spread across every social platform in minutes. TikTok edits, reaction clips, memes, all repeating, if you don't like it, don't watch it. It became the unofficial slogan of Disney's arrogance. Even Johnson's biggest fans were shocked. He'd always been known as the ultimate people's person, the guy who respected his audience. But this response made him sound like every other Hollywood celebrity who thinks the fans are the problem. Worse, insiders started leaking small details. That Johnson had clashed with Disney executives behind the scenes about creative direction, that he'd pushed for more control, and that his pride in the project was turning into a personal mission to prove everyone wrong. Now, instead of a simple movie backlash, the narrative was turning into something much darker. The Rock versus the public. And Disney? They stayed quiet, letting him take the hits, hoping the storm would pass. But it didn't. Every time he spoke, the fire grew. By the end of the week, what should have been a nostalgic celebration of Moana had turned into one of Disney's most embarrassing controversies in years. And behind the scenes, whispers began to spread that executives were starting to regret one thing: giving Dwayne Johnson so much control. Because at this point, it wasn't just the trailer that bombed. It was the entire public perception of the project. And things were only going to get worse from here. Because now, insiders were starting to talk. And what they revealed made everything look even worse. As the online firestorm grew, whispers started leaking from inside Disney. And they painted a picture far worse than fans imagined. According to sources close to the production, the Moana remake had been rushed from the very start. The teaser that dropped, it wasn't even a finalized cut. Insiders claimed it was pushed out early because Disney's quarterly report was coming up. They needed a win to distract investors from declining box office numbers. But the plan backfired. Visual effects artists reportedly begged for more time to refine the look, warning that the ocean scenes and Maui's design weren't ready. Executives Executives said no. They wanted a teaser now, even if the footage looked unfinished. One anonymous artist even told a trade site it looked like a video game cutscene, and we knew it, yeah, but deadlines mattered more than quality. And the tension didn't stop there. Behind closed doors, Dwayne Johnson and Disney executives were allegedly clashing over creative control. Johnson's production company had a major stake in the remake, meaning he wasn't just starring, he was helping call the shots. He wanted a raw, emotional tribute to Polynesian roots. Disney wanted a glossy, family-friendly remake that could sell toys and soundtracks. Two visions, one disaster. By the time the teaser dropped, both sides were pointing fingers. Disney blamed fan negativity. Johnson blamed internet bad mentality. And the visual effects team, they just stayed quiet. Burned out, underpaid, and watching the project get torn apart online. It wasn't just a movie problem anymore. It was a brand problem. And inside Hollywood, executives started whispering what fans already knew. Disney's magic is fading, fast. But out there, on social media, the audience had already made up its mind. The internet had spoken, and the verdict was savage. Within a week, Moana live action became shorthand for everything wrong with modern Hollywood. Commenters across YouTube and TikTok were united in one rare moment of internet agreement. No one wanted this. Fans called it a remake of a remake, soulless nostalgia, and proof that even The Rock can't save Disney. One viral tweet said, "The original Moana is 8 years old and still looks better than this remake. Disney's out of ideas." The memes kept coming. Someone deep-faked the teaser to look like an AI prompt generator. Others edited Maui's face to glitch like a video game bug. Even parody channels joined in, dropping fake trailers titled Moana 2, The Algorithm Awakens. And as funny as it all was, the underlying message hit hard. People were tired. Tired of remakes. Tired of fake emotion. Tired of corporations treating art like brand content. Pop culture podcasts started discussing it as a turning point. Commentators said this backlash wasn't just about Moana. It was about audiences reclaiming their voice. For years, Disney had relied on nostalgia to guarantee profit. Now, that spell was broken. But amid all the chaos, Dwayne Johnson still refused to back down. He kept posting motivational captions, selfies from the gym, and subtle jabs at the haters. Fans who once cheered his every move started scrolling past his posts with disappointment. And then came the moment that sealed the story. A single interview clip that changed everything. A week after the chaos, Dwayne Johnson sat down for a short entertainment interview, the kind that's usually lighthearted, easy PR. But this one didn't go as planned. When the host asked how he felt about the mixed reaction to the Moana teaser, Johnson paused, smiled that trademark smile, and said something that would haunt the project for months. "Look, if people can't see the heart in what we're doing, that's on them. We're not here to please everyone." Then he added, almost under his breath, "Some folks just love to be negative online. That's their whole personality." That clip went viral in seconds. Fans clipped it, remixed it, roasted it, turning it into sound bites and memes. The caption practically wrote itself: The Rock versus his fans. What was meant to be confidence came across as arrogance. Even longtime supporters said he'd lost touch with what made him likable in the first place: humility. Within days, reaction videos and think pieces flooded YouTube. The Rock's Disney ego problem. How Dwayne Johnson went from loved to loathed. The Moana meltdown explained. And maybe the saddest part? The Rock didn't respond again. No clarification, no apology, just silence. For a man who built his image on connecting with fans, that silence said everything. Disney stayed quiet too, No more posts, no more hype. The teaser still sat on YouTube, like a monument to a failed marketing strategy. And by that point, the internet had moved on. Not with forgiveness, but with fatigue. Behind the scenes, Disney's boardroom was chaos. Analysts were predicting a rough box office year. Executives reportedly debated whether to delay the film entirely or quietly dump it on Disney+. Some insiders even floated the idea of re-editing the teaser before the next trailer drop. New VFX, new tone, less Dwayne-centric marketing. They couldn't erase the backlash, but maybe they could outlast it. But morale inside the company was at an all-time low. Staffers said the Moana controversy felt like deja vu, another sign that Disney's once untouchable brand was slipping into irrelevance. Meanwhile, Johnson's camp stayed defensive. They believed time would heal the PR wound, that people would eventually come around. But privately, even his team admitted that his outburst had hurt him more than he realized. What was meant to be a passion project had turned into a cautionary tale about overconfidence, about rushing creativity, and about what happens when corporations try to manufacture authenticity. As one anonymous Disney producer reportedly said, "We thought we could recreate magic. Instead, we exposed the illusion." And that illusion of endless nostalgia, of guaranteed love from audiences, was finally cracking. When the dust settled, the live-action Moana teaser became more than a failed trailer. It became a warning shot for Hollywood. Audiences aren't blind anymore. They can spot inauthenticity, corporate messaging, and recycled ideas from a mile away. They crave originality, something real, something honest. And for Dwayne Johnson, this saga was a painful reminder that even the most beloved public figure can lose touch when they stop listening. His outburst wasn't just about a movie. It was about pride, perception, and the widening gap between celebrities and the fans who built them. As for Disney, their obsession with remakes may have finally reached its breaking point. The Moana teaser wasn't just disliked, it was rejected on principle. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't about visual effects or casting. It was about emotion. The original Moana felt alive because it was made with heart. This remake felt like it was made with a formula, and maybe that's the real lesson here. You can't remake Soul. So, as Disney retreats and Dwayne Johnson stays silent, one question still lingers in the minds of millions of fans. In a world obsessed with nostalgia and algorithms, when will Hollywood start listening again?